So you want to have the foam roller just underneath your shoulder blades, and you're going to lift your hips off the ground, and then you're going to push and pull through your feet so that the roller is going just on the upper back. Be careful if you have a hoodie, it doesn't get trapped or your hair underneath. And so you're adjusting the weight or the pressure of the roller into your back by how high your hips are. So the higher your hips are, of course, the more pressure that's going to be on the shoulder blades. And we're starting with an equal amount of body weight on both sides of the shoulders. And you're just holding your hands behind your head. And then lean more of your body weight on one side of the spine and do the same thing again, going up and down. So we're still just working basically over the ribs and the shoulder blades. So if you go up too high, the roller kind of slips into your neck. You don't want that. And you can go as low as sort of the bottom of your mid back, but just not into the lower back. And then lean all of your body weight on the other side. So this Get Supple routine today for neck and shoulders. Really good for taking out stress and tension in the face, in the head, as well as the elbows. So lots of benefits for basically the whole upper body. One more here. Good, all the way down, all the way up. So we're just using the foam roller for part of this warm up through the soft tissue in the upper back. And then we're also going to turn over and do a little bit of rolling for the pecs. So if you can take the foam roller on an angle like that, kind of on a diagonal at your chest, or I just wanted to show you upright, and then you're gonna lie, so it's almost like you're flat on the floor. One leg is on your side, hands on the floor, and then you're just gonna roll right and left gently over the pec. So it's not over the boob. I'll just clarify that because that would not feel good. So we're just above the boob, okay? And you're controlling the pressure by how much body weight you put on the roller. So we're really only moving like a couple inches at a time, but you'll really start to feel that. It's kind of like close to the armpit and the top of the chest, and then switching to the other side. If you can even get a little bit of pressure up near the collarbone where those muscles attach, that is really helpful for releasing those muscles as well. So you've got one leg is kind of like up to give you some control for the body weight so it's not all on the roller. And then you're getting that pressure just into the pec, so around the front of the armpit, top of the chest, even rolling forward toward the collarbone. Good, and then coming all the way up. So if you have the roller, we're going to use it for this next part of the warm-up for the neck, and it's going to go on the wall behind your head. So you could also use a pillow or a sweatshirt or something like that if you wanted to. But just so that you have something behind your head, other than your head just against the hard wall. So if you don't feel, if you've got one of those really nubby rollers, it doesn't feel all that stable to lean against, you could feel free to use a pillow or like a rolled up towel or something close by. But the roller goes right behind the back of your head. You can even hold it with your hands so that you know it's not going anywhere. And you're leaning against it on an angle, almost as if you were a mannequin leaning up against the wall. And we're only going to be here for another 30 seconds. So the idea is that you're keeping your head level with the spine. And if you put one hand on the back of your neck, you're going to feel that those muscles are actually working quite hard back there. They're getting a nice stretch as they flex in this position. So they're sort of stuck in that fixed position while they're under a stretch. And it helps to bring the head back into proper alignment. You'll be able to feel that in just a moment. So take one foot back, stepping forward, you can relax, and just see if you can feel like if your head feels a little bit lighter now. And that would be from the stretch. So if you had that sort of lightheaded feeling afterward, that's a really good sign that that went well. And we're going to move into a little bit more of a warm-up now for the neck and shoulders. So if you can, we're just going to get the feet marching just to increase the body temperature even more. But we're going to focus on the arms to start. So flexing at the wrist and then just circling big smooth circles with the arms. As you pull the arms around, try to keep the shoulders pushing down. So you're actually not trying to lift the rib cage at all. And by keeping the wrists flexed, we're also getting that really big stretch through the bicep and through the fascia in the arms. So we're going the other way. Getting some good heat in those shoulder muscles. And try to really extend back as far as you can, full range of motion, drawing the biggest circles possible. And then hands behind your head, or sorry, behind your back. So pulling the shoulders down. And take your feet a little bit wide apart. And we're going to tip the head from right to left. So the tricky part with this is not letting the shoulders shrug when your head tilts. So if you're a little bit tight on one side, it may feel like one shoulder wants to lift up to your ear when you tilt your head. But just still going side to side. Good, and then full circle. So bring your feet back together, chin to your neck, or chin to your chest, and then slowly start to make your way around in a full circle. So going slow is important so that you don't miss anything. Because sometimes through the tight spots, you kind of skip over them by not going in full range of motion. So good. This last time around in that same direction, see if you can use your eyes. So you're looking to see the furthest, you're trying to draw a really big circle around the room with your eyes. Now we're going to go the other way. So it's actually surprising how much the eyes are connected to the range of motion in the neck. And so if you can strain a little bit to see the furthest thing that you can see behind you, above you, beside you as you do the circle, you're going to get a bigger stretch and benefits through the neck and shoulders as well. Okay, awesome. So now, bringing your hands out in front, and we're going to bring the arms up as high as you can. You can bring the feet back together, actually. And then standing side bend, right and left. And this is to get that stretch through the lats. So the lats can also play a big part in pulling on the neck and shoulders. So we just want to make sure that we get a nice big stretch through there as well before we really get into some of this deeper work for the mobility there. Every time you pass through the middle again, see if you can lift up a little bit higher, like you're lengthening as you go. Getting longer, getting taller. Good. Hold on the side and then turn your upper body towards the floor. Punching out through the knuckles. Try to feel that stretch between your shoulder blades. Pull the chin to your neck and push out through the crown of your head slightly. Inhale, come all the way back up again. So we'll do the same thing, standing side bend the other way. Then rotate the chest a little bit towards the floor. Punch out through the knuckles. Pull the chin into the neck and lengthen out through the crown of the head. Inhale, come all the way back up to center. And bring the arms down just to the height of the shoulders. So the feet can go wide apart again with the toes out slightly. And we're going to slide to the right and then back to center. So just 5 like that, slide back to center. Good. Try not to twist as you go sideways, just sideways. And then back to center. So this is addressing the thoracic spine. Well, the whole spine, of course, but we're really focusing on the thoracic spine, that upper back. and then slide all the way across side to side. So just trying to get those discs between the spine, a little more mobile, a little juicier, right and left, one more each way. Excellent. Okay, relax the hands all the way back down. And we're going to use the foam roller for our first shoulder stretch, actually. So coming down, if you have your, and if you're not using a foam roller, you can just use the floor. I'm going to angle this just a little bit here. See if we can get some better lighting, because it is like just so dark in here today. Gosh. Okay. So if you have your roller, because you might have it because we're just using it. Angle this slightly here. You'd have you're on your knees, so just with the knees about hip width apart, and then rolling out through the hands, letting your head drop down between the arms. So it doesn't matter where your head hangs, but if you pull your hips back just slightly, you're looking for the biggest stretch possible around the shoulder and specifically in the lats at the back of the armpit. So the arms are overhead, straight at the elbows. Good, try to push the roller as far away from you as you can while you pull your tailbone backward. And then lean heavy into the right side. Really leaning heavy into the right side. Big stretch through the ribs there as well. And then the other side, leaning into the left, so body weight in the left hand. Good, this would work fine if your hands were just on the floor. It's just a deeper stretch when your hands are elevated a little bit. Good, and then come all the way back to center and have a seat. So from seated, we're gonna sit cross-legged and have the feet flexed. Just keep turning to get better lighting here. Okay, so your feet are flexed at the ankle. You're trying to let your knees relax down. We're gonna have the fingertips tented together and then reach your arms over your head as high up as you can go. So one day you wanna have your elbows maybe straight. We're gonna now press the palms of the hands together. Pull the chin in towards the neck slightly. And see if you can pull your belly button in towards your lower back, almost making you sit further back on your sit bones. Good. Now sink your shoulders down into your spine. So your shoulder blades are sort of squeezing into your back, using those muscles to integrate. And lift the crown of your head closer up towards the ceiling. So the tug of war, the opposing forces here are the shoulders are pulling down with straight elbows. But the crown of your head is lifting up, 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 continuously lifting up. And your knees are anchoring your pelvis down into the floor. Good, keep lifting the crown of your head, lengthening the back of the neck. One more deep breath here. And then slowly relax one arm at a time all the way back down. So taking the one arm out to the side, we're gonna slide sideways for that big stretch through the QL muscle. So one hand down, the other arm can go up. And we're gonna slide sideways as far as you can without losing a sit bone. So you wanna keep it heavy on the sit bones on the floor as you reach. And then take the top arm over your head. So really big stretch down the side. So another muscle here that when it gets tight, and it brings the upper body into forward head posture. And then those muscles in the back of the neck have to overwork all day long. So by loosening up some of these bigger global muscles and then giving some extra love and attention to the neck and shoulders, we should be able to make a big impact here. One more reach out through the arm and then inhale, come all the way back up, and we'll switch to the other side. Of course, hand down to start. Slide out as far as you can go without losing that opposite sit bone off the ground, and then bring the arm over your head. So you're really reaching out through the fingertips. And so much more than just kind of leaning, but really reaching, continuously reaching. Good, pulling the belly button in towards the spine behind you. One more deep breath here, Supple, glued towards the floor. Inhale, come all the way back up. Nice, and then we're gonna turn around and lie on our back. We're gonna do 4 in a row ELDOA positions for the neck. So if your neck is really tight, or if you haven't done those ones before, feel free to leave your head on the ground and just focus on lengthening the back of the neck. And if you're up for it, or if you want to just give it a try, we'll go for it. So each one of these are going to be held for 1 minute. I'm just going to turn around here. So from on your back, make sure your head is just flat to the floor. Knees start in, ankles are up at the height of the knees, palms to the ceiling, and then lower your hands all the way down the sides of your body, fingertips towards the floor. We're going to push the shoulders down away from the ears and pull the chin down to the neck, lengthen through the back of the neck. And then we're going to sit up high enough that just the shoulder blades come off the floor. So the whole time pushing the shoulders down, keep flexing through the wrists, and you're lengthening out through the crown of the head as strong as you can. So keeping the toes flexed to the nose. Good, lower back is pelvic tilting towards the floor. With every breath, should feel like your shoulders are going down lower and lower and lower to the hips. And the crown of the head is lengthening longer away from the tailbone. Good, one more really deep breath here. Push out through the heels of the hands. And then bring both of your hands behind your head to lower your head back to the floor. And then bring your feet one at a time back to the floor. Nice. Moving right in, as promised, to the next one. So feet come back up again. Arms up again. Everything starts the same. This time, leave your hands there. We're going to lift or bring the chin down to the neck, but lift the head 2 or 3. Let's make it 3 fingers high off the floor. But the whole upper back is now grounded. So unlike last time where the shoulder blades came up, you're almost like in a little bit of a crunch position. This is just the head. Good, chin stays pulling down hard to the neck. Tongue on the roof of the mouth. See if you can squeeze your shoulder blades into your back. And you're using the muscles in the shoulders to externally rotate the arm bones, but not from the wrist so much. Good, eyes are looking down. Really looking down hard with the eyes, huge stretch in the back of the neck, lengthening out to the crown of the head. Try to hang in there for the whole minute. One more deep breath here. And then one hand behind the head on each side. Bring your head back to the floor and relax the legs. And then we're just gonna take a quick little break here for a trunk rotation. So with the arms out wide and the feet wide, knees bent, tip both of your knees to one side and your head in the opposite direction. And then switching right and left. This should just feel nice and easy, but loosening up through the spine. It's a really good reset. These rotations are just good for repositioning any potentially unpositioned discs. We come back to the center. And bring the knees in, bring the hands up. We're going to go again, different part of the cervical spine this time, different part of the neck. Hands up. Bring the arms this time over your head. So reaching the arms over the head, chin into the neck. Everything is just like before, except now the arms are over your head. And we're going to lift a little bit less. So chin is down on the neck, eyes look down on the legs or the chest. Lift the head 1 finger height off the floor. Reaching those arms way back, but pull the shoulders down your back. Good, lower back to the floor, eyes look down. Keep your eyes looking down, it's not easy to do. Keep your eyes looking down and then look down again and look down some more. Then look further down, you've got it. Keep flexing at the wrists. Good, shoulders down your back, chin down on the neck, lengthen out through the crown of your head. Good, keep breathing. One more really deep breath here. Lengthen through the crown of the head. You're trying to hold the back of your neck off the floor, but really low. And then one hand behind your head at a time. Both feet can come back to the floor. Nice. Oh boy. Okay, we've got one more that's just for the neck. And this time the head is going to stay on the floor. You're going to bring the knees up and starting again, flexing at the wrist, all of the same business like usual. But take your hands out, actually we'll start with them in first, over the head like before, wrist towards the floor. But this time bring the wrists right to the floor and take your arms out wide, like in the shape of a Y. Keep flexing at the wrist. Now pull your chin to your neck, like a double chin, like you wouldn't want your picture taken like this. Okay, really pull it down. You can even hear it in my voice. Really pulling it down, lengthening through the back of the neck, pushing your arms hard into the floor with the arms straight. Good, lower back is into the floor, ankles are up, helping the lower back sink into the floor, eyes look down. Okay, keep breathing, chin pulls down. Keep pushing the arms hard into the floor, like you're trying to hold the floor down, really strong. Good, chin down, more, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax one arm at a time. And then just gently turn over onto your front for the pec stretch. Whoa, awesome. Okay, so we've done some good stretching for the back, like for the upper back. So now we're gonna add a little bit more onto the chest. So we're gonna do our 2 myofascial pec stretches. And the first one being with the arm bent at 90 degrees. So if you have your foam roller and you're feeling kind of frisky and you wanna maybe go a little deeper than usual, you can try adding the foam roller underneath your hand. So you don't need to do this. It's still a fantastic stretch anyway. This just makes it a little bit deeper. If you do this stretch all the time and you want to take it a step further, you could try this. Having the wrist up on the roller or a block or something would be fine too, or not at all. It's also fine. The other hand is just under your shoulder because you're going to push into the floor to help you roll your hips. Do your very best to keep the wrist flexed on the hand that you're leaning into, or the arm that you're leaning into. And then see if you can lower your ear towards the floor. So you're lowering your ear close to the floor, but away from the arm, until you have this very big stretch in the front of the armpit, and maybe even into the front of the shoulder. Good, one day you want to start to feel that even into the chest. Slowly come back to center, and then we'll switch. And so exact same setup on the other side. It's the wrist that gets elevated, and then the hand comes up, flexing as high as you can. One hand under the opposite shoulder to help you push and roll. You're only rolling over as far as you need to go to feel the stretch. So if it's super tight, maybe your hips aren't rolling all that much, that's okay. Then we're lowering the ear as close to the floor as we can, but pull the chin into the neck. So reaching your chin out is a cheat here. You're gonna miss a really good part of the stretch. So pull that chin in like a double chin, and then lower the ear towards the floor. Good, one more deep breath here. And then slowly come back to center. We're gonna return to the other side. If you're using that foam roller, you can try it again here, this time with the arms straight and extended out about 45 degrees from the shoulder with the wrist up. Everything else is the same though. So we're rolling, oh, feeling this one. Bring the chin in towards your neck again, and then try to lower the ear without bending the elbow. Good, hold and reach. So you're kind of pressing body weight into the arm that's on the floor. Good, make sure you're not bending at the elbow. If your elbows tend to hyperextend, then just make sure that they're not, it's just staying straight and not, you know, overextending. Good, back to center. Other side. This one is very good for the elbow joint, as well as the neck. The arm goes out. Good, so the wrist, hand extended. Just trying to get that where you can kind of see, but my hand is flexed at the wrist, and then we're rolling again. Pull the chin into the neck, turn the ear to the floor, lower the ear as low as you can go, and then add the breath. It helps to even visualize that you're almost breathing in through the armpit, just to help expand the ribs in that whole area. Good for one more breath here. And then right back to center. Nice. So just a quick stretch just for the neck. With your arms at your side, turn your head to one side. Try to get that ear right under your head. Pull the chin in like a double chin. And then let your shoulders rest forward. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Turn your head the other way. Pull your chin in like a double chin. And then relax your shoulders forward towards the floor. Good, and then with your hands coming forward under the shoulders, we're gonna lift all the way back up onto the hands and knees for a specific stretch for the upper back. So on this one, we're gonna take a hold, the best that we can anyway, from on the knees of the feet. So I want you to see if you can grab your feet. I wonder if it's easier if I go from the side so you can see. So you're trying to grab a hold of your feet. And let's even do this where the toenails are on the floor. Okay, so chin to the neck. And then your head is gonna go right on top of the floor. So just make sure that once you get into this position, you don't turn your head. So we're gonna lift the hips as high as possible. You've got this grip on your heels because you're gonna pull really hard, hips towards the ceiling. We're trying to extend and stretch right through the upper back as much as possible. Body weight on the top of the head. Now, if there's any gap from your knees to your forehead, I want you to walk your knees in closer to your forehead. Good, 3 more breaths in this position. Really lift the hips to the sky. Good, trying to get the arms straight, trying to squeeze your ankles closer together. 1 more deep breath here. And then slowly coming out and roll your way all the way back up. Whoa, good one. That was excellent. Okay, so having a seat once again, just any which way that you're comfortable. You could even sit on the roller if you wanted to. And this is to focus just on the neck for a moment. So I want you to take your hands, maybe you can even sit on them. If that's not comfortable, just find some way to help ground your shoulders a little bit. And we're gonna start by, so this is like I had an instructor that called this the big bang neck stretch. And I don't like the sound of anything to do with a big bang around my neck, but it is a really great stretch. So, and it's only called big bang because you're getting 3 muscle groups with 1 stretch. So anyways, let your head tilt, the weight of your head tilt to one side. So you're just sort of letting gravity have your head sideways. Make sure that your collarbones are as wide open as possible and your shoulders are down. And then slowly turn your chin. So let's say your head is tilted to the left. Now you're gonna turn your chin slowly to the left. Just enough to feel the stretch up the back of your neck. So sort of from behind your ear into the back of your neck. But you now also need to look hard left. And as you breathe, try to pull your chin in closer to the neck and trying to lengthen out through the back of your neck. So it's getting longer. Okay, so with your, whatever ear is closest to the ceiling in this position, now you're gonna turn your head in that direction and look up to the ceiling above your ear. Still keeping the collarbones really wide open with the shoulders down. So now the stretch should be changing more from the back of your ear into your collarbone. And still breathing really deep here. Good, and then bring your head back to center and then just turn your head right and left a couple of times to kind of loosen that up. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Just sit tall, collarbones open, shoulders down, let the head tilt. So at first we're just getting that, this muscle is called sternocleidomastoid. Honestly, like, was that necessary? These terms. Could be just like neck muscle number 1, number 2. Okay, so the chin pulls in and then slowly, so whatever side your head is tilted towards, that's the side you're gonna look towards that shoulder. If you start to feel a pinching, that's a tight muscle. Don't avoid it, just don't go past it too far. And then start to pull the chin in. Your eyes are gonna look hard in that direction as well. Okay, one more breath here. And then whatever ear is on top, the ear that's closest to the ceiling, turn your chin slowly to look up towards the ceiling above that ear. And again, even the eyes are straining to look out the corner of your eye in that outside direction. Good, really lifting the chin, lift the chin, lift the chin, lift the chin, lift the chin. And then slowly back to center, and we're just turning the head right and left a couple more times each way. Excellent, and then coming back down onto our front. Okay, so we did this really nice big stretch for the back of the neck and between the shoulder blades with that rabbit pose that we did where we're holding our feet. So the next one that we're gonna do is this half locust pose. Really good for stretching out through the elbow joint. So excellent there, but also for lengthening through the front of the cervical spine. I'm trying to sell this a little bit because it's kind of awkward, but it's worth it, okay? It's absolutely worth it. And there's 3 steps, and you can opt out of the next step at any time that you want. So you're starting with your arms, I'm gonna angle this so we can see here. Starting with your arms, palms against the floor. So your palms are against the ground and your chin is out in front of you on the floor. So essentially, you're trying to get your throat as close to the floor as possible. So right from the beginning, completely awkward, super uncomfortable. We're just gonna carry on. So now rolling the body right and left, see if you can get your hands closer together underneath your body. If you're really tight, you might have to leave them on the outside because we don't want to twist the wrists or the fingers at all. Okay, if you can take a little bit more, now you're going to point your right toe, lift your right leg as high as you can off the floor without lifting the hip bones off the floor. Or if your hands are really close together, your hip bones might be on your arms. Pointing out through the toe, really lengthen out through the foot and the chin, and then relax that leg completely, just let it go dead on the floor. The other leg now points at the toe, straight knee, lift the leg as high as you can, but push both hips forward into the ground. Good, so this is also good for the lower back, but we're really focusing on the neck and shoulders here in the upper body. Relax that leg. Okay, third part. You're gonna turn your head in to kiss the floor, and then we're gonna squeeze the legs together, pushing your palms hard into the floor. Lift your legs as high as you can. Here we go. Slowly come back down. Let your arms unravel behind you and then let your head rest on the floor again. So when you take your inhale, see if you can inflate the lower back first before the upper back, and then turn your head the other way one more time. Inflating to the lower back first on the inhale. And on the exhale. Good, both hands come underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna isolate a little stretch just for the fascia and the muscles through the wrists and the hands. So placing both hands on the floor, palms down, and then leaning back just as much as you need to feel a stretch in the front of the forearm. take a moment to see if you can get every finger joint a little bit closer to the floor. So when you think about how much we use our hands and how important our hands are, we want to keep that range of motion in the wrists and in the fingers, and especially because when we start to lose range of motion there and we don't get enough joint fluid around the area, that's when we get pain. So usually pain means some kind of a restriction of some kind. So even if it's a little bit uncomfortable to do this stretch, it's well worth it to get that flexibility back and to prevent it from getting any more stiff. Because we're shaking out the hands, and then wrists on the inside, fingers on the outside. And I now know this from firsthand experience, because after breaking that bone in my arm, it's actually my wrist that is the most problematic now, because it didn't move for so long. And all those small bones in there are still trying to get that range of motion back, even though I didn't injure those bones. Oh, the body is so interesting. Okay, so that's stretch, stretch, stretch right through the front of the forearm. Good, and then relaxing the hands. We're gonna take it even a step further with the hands. And we're almost done. Okay, so this will be the last thing. Lying on your back. Let's make sure you'll be able to see. I'm gonna tilt this just a little bit more. So lying on your back, this one is a stretch just for the hands and fingers. Unbelievable how good this feels afterwards. So have your knees up just like before, with your ankles up, palms to the ceiling, and then take your left hand, reach under your right hand, and pull just the index finger gently down into a stretch. So it's important to make sure that you're still flexing at the wrist the whole time. And then add your middle finger to the index finger and pull it down a little bit, as much as you need to feel a stretch. Add the ring finger. Good, then add the baby finger. Good, still really flexing at the hand or at the wrist. And then release those four, reaching under just for the thumb all by itself, very gently. Bring that thumb down as far as you can, but still keep the rest of the hand extended and flexed at the wrist. And then we'll switch sides. So left hand is flexed. Take your right hand, reach under just for the index finger. Bring it down, keep flexing at the wrist. The other fingers are as straight as you can. Good, add the index finger. Good, add the ring finger. We didn't do the range of motion test at the beginning of the class, but it would give you an idea of how much these stretches, just even like, it's amazing how much relieving fascia through the fingers, the palms, the forearms, the wrists, how much that benefits through the neck and the shoulders and even in the face. Good, add the baby finger as well. So even without doing the test, hopefully you will feel that for yourself as soon as we finish here. Good, and then release those four, take just the thumb, but keep flexing at the wrist. Good, pull it down till you have a stretch, try to keep that hand open. And then relax the hand, just nice and easy. Good, moving through the wrists. Excellent. And we are completely finished our Get Supple class for today.